Oh, yeah. I don't wanna be a safe bet, don't wanna be a plan B. Wanna be a top choice, not your top three. I'm so done, I'm so done.
I'm Andrea Askowitz.
I'm Allison Langer, and this is Writing Class Radio. You'll hear true personal stories and learn how to write your own stories. Together, we produce this podcast, which is equal parts heart and art. By heart, we mean the truth in a story. And by art, we mean the craft of writing. No matter what's going on in our lives, Writing Class is where we tell the truth. It's where we work out our shit. There's no place in the world like Writing Class. And we want to bring you in.
Today on our show, we bring you a story by Bonnie Shore, who we call Blee. Blee has been a student of Writing Class Radio for, I forgot to ask. She's 2 years, 3, 5? I don't know. She seems to be like a permanent 2 years.
She's holding up 2 fingers, yes.
She's here in the studio holding up 2 fingers. Okay. It seems like longer. I don't know. Permanent fixture. We love the shit out of Blee.
Well, I got to walk with Blee at our writing retreat in December. Like, we walked every single morning. We hung out. We told stories to each other. I mean, we just totally bonded. It was awesome.
Blee is a wonderful person and wonderful to be around. Her story is called, Am I Turning Into My Mother? It's a question that you and I totally relate to, and I can't wait to talk about it after we hear her story. We're also going to talk about what makes a story universal and specific details and the brilliant way she structured the story. Also, the landing. We're going to talk about a lot of cool things. Back with Blee's story after the break.
We're back. I'm Allison Langer, and this is Writing Class Radio. Here's Blee Shore reading her story, Am I Turning Into My Mother?
Dr. Centarpia placed the testing in process sign on the door. I wiped my wet palms on my jeans. She introduced herself as a neuropsychologist, then explained the concept of brain mapping. It's an excellent tool to diagnose brain functioning abnormalities, such as anxiety, ADD, and depression. Dr. Centarpia was 50-ish and approachable. I liked her right away. What brings you here? She asked. My mother has dementia, I said. Recently, I've seen changes in my own personality. I'm afraid I also have dementia. Dr. Centarpia asked general questions about me and my family. I told her I was in my 60s, my mom was in her 90s, and since 2020 has lived with me and my husband. Some days we glimpse the person she was. Most days, she is a challenge. Mom and Dad lived independently in Chapel Hill when they were in their 80s. My sister lived 30 minutes away. Robin saw them every Sunday for brunch. On her way home, she reported, they looked great, the house looked great, they seemed happy. We ended each phone call feeling lucky they had each other. For 5 years, the report never varied, until one day, just after my 60th birthday, my sister called. She said, Mom collapsed. We called 911. The emergency room doc says Mom had a series of mini strokes and heart attacks. If Mom lives, she's going to need a lot of rehab. If Mom lives? I heard the beeps of machines, a siren, and pieces of conversation between staff. The crisp, no emotion, just the facts voice of my little sister pierced my core. She said, please come down. I Googled flights to Raleigh, North Carolina. I texted my husband, a physician, at work. Sam called back right away. Those are called transient ischemia attacks, TIAs, and they can damage the brain. Go. The first night, after helping Mom with rehab, cooking, and cleaning, I called Sam. Mom wants to go home to Puerto Rico. She's not from Puerto Rico, he said. Yeah, I know. It tore me up to watch Mom in rehab sessions. In one exercise, she was required to make $1 and change. She dumped the coins on the table. The clang reverberated as Mom searched, but could not find 4 quarters required. For another exercise, she needed to read a recipe and gather the ingredients. She couldn't. Mom pushed a can off the counter. She was done. After therapy, I asked her what it felt like. She pointed to her head and said, "Behold, the disintegration of the human brain." It's exhausting to find for a word. My brain races while you speak. I ramble while it searches, and then I forget what I'm saying, so I give up. Oh my God, I have to search for words too. That night I called Sam and asked, "Am I turning into my mother?" He told me not to worry. We're leading healthy lives. I let him convince me. But what if forgetting words is how dementia begins? At the 2-month mark, it became clear my parents could no longer live independently. Robin rehabbed her house, and my parents moved there for 3 years. When my sister went back to work, my parents moved in with me. That year was tough. My mom was angry without understanding why she was angry. She repeated herself. She was never hungry, but could not stop eating if food was in front of her. She did not like to be with people she did not know. As the years went on, I noticed more of my mother's symptoms in me. I missed appointments, even though I wrote them down. I never left the house without forgetting something, despite the sign I stuck on the door: keys, pocketbook, cell phone. Basic life annoyances set me off. The TV on full blast. Insurance forms that seemed to be written in another language, and an empty milk carton in the fridge. How hard is it to write milk on a grocery list? When I noticed an empty toilet paper roll, I screamed at my husband. He tried to hug me. I pushed him away. I said, "Stop patronizing me." Sam said, "It's not about the paper roll. You need to see someone." I slammed the bathroom door on him for punctuation. I almost laughed because I knew I was acting crazy, but my temper, my forgetfulness, and my increasing inability to fill out forms correctly looked too much like my mom's dementia. I said, "Sam, I need to see someone." During our first session, Dr. Santarpia's technicians attached a cap with plastic discs to my skull and hooked me up to a computer. I saw flashing dots, objects to count, move, or find on another computer screen. When I was done, she told me it would take a week to process the results. While I waited in her office the following week, I kept thinking over and over, please don't let me become a burden to my husband. Please don't steal my independence. Please don't destroy my relationships. I prayed if I did have dementia, there would be good drugs. Dr. Santarpia swapped out the testing sign to consult in progress and invited me to sit down. She opened a booklet and pointed to the first colorful graph. She said, "You do not have dementia, but let me show you this." She pointed to several other graphs. You have ADD, anxiety, and depression. The anger might come from ADD or trauma. She went on. I heard every third or fourth science word: Q, EEG, neurofeedback, brain frequencies, modalities. At that moment, I didn't really care. "Do you have any questions?" she asked. "No," I said. "I stopped listening when you said I didn't have dementia."
Andrea, you want to go first?
Yeah, because this might be the best landing we've ever had on our podcast. I stopped listening. It's like she exemplifies all of her, or not all, but the ADD symptom, the not listening, that like she shows it, and for such good reason. It's just like, it's the best ending. It's gorgeous, and it's a scene, and it just tells us everything, and it's hopeful. Oh, man. Love it.
Let's just talk about a second, like this read, like the way she reads her story. I'm just like, oh my God, can she read every story? It's so well done. I mean, without being performative, I was intrigued. I was dialed in. Like I wanted to listen to her voice all day. Okay. So that's not the point of the story, but
no, but she has a terrific voice. It's so specific.
Yeah.
It's and it's not overdone. It's excellent.
Yeah.
But wait, I want to talk about, when is it exciting? When is it great news when a doctor tells you, oh, no, you just have ADD, anxiety, and depression?
So good. I know. Yeah.
Wait, we could hear her. Seriously, when is that great news? That's just whack. But here's the story.
So we have a Blee in our studio because she wanted to be a part of the recording and we love her so much. And I don't know, it just, the timing worked out. We said, come. So she gets to hear in person, like up face to face as we're doing this on Squadcast, what's going on. So you heard her giggling in the background.
Now she's on mute.
I know, right? We muted her. You know, sometimes we're worried about what we're saying about the story, that it's going to hurt somebody's feelings, that, you know, we really try hard not to do that.
Well, we only take stories that we love.
It's
and
true.
Then we talk about the things we love about them.
Yeah, but all stories take work. And so this story was worked on a lot and things came in, things came out until Blee dialed it down to exactly what she was trying to say. And listen.
Wait, is this the part where we edit out the frustrations we went through working with Blee?
Working with anybody? Like, okay, add this, and this, and they rewrite their whole story. You're like, no.
Yeah, I know. Everyone does that.
Yeah. So just for all you listeners out there, if an editor comes to you and they say, I need this, just do what they're asking. Like, don't come back with a whole new story. Just answer the questions and keep going from there, because otherwise it creates more work for the person and it also changes the story, and nobody wants that. So, well, at least we don't. What I want to talk about is how this story is like an entire story contained in an office visit sort of situation. And yes, it took place over a course of a couple of like visits, but the whole thing is told. She shows up at the visit, and then we see the whole story, and then we return to the visit. That is so satisfying to me. Mm-hmm. Didn't you think so?
I love it too. Yeah. I didn't notice it until you just mentioned it. It's actually not the same visit. She goes to the first visit and then she goes back for the results. But it's very, very satisfying. There's something about the brain that like really loves a bookend. Mm-hmm. And that felt like bookends. But I wanted to talk about, there's a million things I want to talk about. But the thing that's like, I wanted to ask you is, the story is called, Am I Turning Into My Mother? And that's the whole stress of the story. Is this narrator turning into her mother? And in this way, will the narrator also come down with dementia?
Suffer from? Come down with? Like a fucking cold? Like what? You get the flu?
I've fallen ill with dementia.
Yeah.
So she doesn't want to fall ill with dementia. Okay. So I just feel like I'm not worried about that specifically for myself, but I can 100% relate to turning into my mother.
Wait, back up.
Yes.
You do often ask me if you're getting dementia and like Alzheimer's and the whole...
Oh, really? I forgot.
That's so funny.
Really? Though?
Yes. But I mean, a lot of our parents are suffering from really insane illnesses, like really major. My mom with ALS, your dad has Alzheimer's.
My dad has dementia. Yeah.
So It is scary. So yeah, I know that you're trying to say that even though it's not specific to us, although it is kind of specific to us, we related.
That's what I meant. I meant that I feel like, and I don't know if this is true, but I feel like I've always had this, oh my God, am I going to turn into my mom for good or bad? And I don't know if that's a universal feeling. And that's what I was wondering about. Is it? Do you think that like most people are like, oh my God, I'm turning into my mom, or oh my God, I'm turning into my dad?
Well, I mean, I can look at my daughter and now like if we're in a changing room, I'm sure she's thinking, I'm never going to look like that. And I look pretty good, except I'm in menopause. I'm a little not so tight anymore. Like my thighs are a little nasty and I don't wear shorts. And you know what I'm saying? Like my stomach is poofy.
Off topic.
No, we're not. Because I used to look at my mom and be like, visually, I'll never look like that. I'll just do sit-ups. I'll just do that. What we think we're never going to get there. And that's just physical, but emotional and the way we think. She said to me, my daughter said to me, like, why are adults so boring? I'm never going to be boring. And I was like, well, my idea of fun is having friends over or reading a book or chilling. But for them, they want to go out and party and they will turn into us because nobody wants to do that forever.
Yeah.
And I do think it's fun.
Yeah. Do boring things. Of course. Me too. I think that's totally fun. I want to think about it in terms of writing because we say at Writing Class Radio all the time, the more specific, the more universal. So in this case, this narrator is very specifically afraid of falling ill with dementia. But she also was very, very specific in her details throughout, which I noted this time. Like from the beginning, she's talking about, right from the very beginning, she's talking about this brain mapping that she's about to do that's specific for anxiety, ADD, and depression. She tells us specifically what it's for. Her mother had TIAs that can damage the brain. Like it's so specific. And then these are just a few examples, but the moment where she says, Mom wants to go home to Puerto Rico. That's what the mother said. Mom wants to go home to Puerto Rico. And Sam's like, she's not from Puerto Rico. And the narrator's like, yeah, I know. So she didn't just say Mom is having like these sort of fantasies about where she wants to go home to. She literally specifically told us exactly what she says. And does that specificity lend itself to the universality?
I'm on Puerto Rico. I don't know specifically, does that lend itself to universality? I relate because I feel like just even the fact that the mom is like not even remembering where she's from is just a symbol of the fact that she's not who she used to be. So that's enough for me.
Okay.
Yeah, by showing me that. But this narrator also says that she never left the house without forgetting something, despite the sign stuck to the door that said keys, pocketbook, and cell phone.
Right. Well, those were the other specific details that the narrator told us about. I think in this case, these very specific details are painting very, very vivid pictures. So we hear the mother saying that about Puerto Rico. We see this note that says keys.
And the stuff that annoys her, TV on full blast, insurance forms. Yeah. Fucking hell, if I have to fill out one more insurance form, like every time you go to the doctor.
Right. The ones that seem to be written in another language. That was so well said. I guess, I don't know. I guess my question is, are these specific details totally universal? Not exactly, but they hit so hard. They're so good that I understand them. And I think so does everybody.
Yeah. And they also just give us a real good idea of what this narrator is going through and what her fears are. So we get to know her more. But yes, it feels universal. And yes, the details are super impactful and descriptive enough for us to want to stay into the story. And the stakes, it increases the stakes by knowing all these details.
It's true. Knowing exactly what the mother went through, totally, and is going through, totally.
I mean, I'm scared for this narrator. And then I'm scared for myself because I'm like, fuck, I forget everything. You know what I mean?
Yes. Back to me, not remembering that I'm afraid of dementia. You're right. Yes, I'm scared.
Yeah.
And then you wanted to talk about it because didn't this really hit home for you? Because, yeah, you're scared of what you're seeing in your mom.
Well, of course. I mean, my mom is now being taken care of. Like she couldn't live on her own right now at all by her husband. Well, I'm not married. I don't want my kids to go through that. Like, what do we do? I mean, it's really an important topic. Like people are really suffering and everybody's scared. Yeah, it's scary. It's scary to think that your parent isn't doing well and will you not do well? And what does that look like? Losing your relationships, making people, like, oh God, it's not easy.
Like we're all going to get old.
Yeah. I mean, if we're lucky.
Oh, yeah. I'm so done. I'm so done.
Writing Class Radio is hosted by me, Allison Langer.
And me, Andrea Askowitz.
Audio production by Matt Cundill, Evan Surminski, and Aiden Glassey at the Sound Off Media Company. The music is by Justina Shandler. There's more writing class on our website, including stories we study, editing resources, video classes, writing retreats, and live online classes. If you want to write with us every week, if you're a business owner, community activist, group that needs healing, entrepreneur, scientist, or even like a nonprofit group that is helping teenagers get into college, or anybody who needs to write, check out all the classes we offer on our website, Writing Class Radio. Join the community that comes together for instruction, an excuse to write, and the support from other writers. To learn more, go to our website or patreon.com/writingclassradio. A new episode will drop every other Wednesday.
There's no better way to understand ourselves and each other than by writing and sharing our stories. Everyone has a story. What's yours?
I'm so done. I'm so done.
Produced and distributed by the Sound Off Media Company.